Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As I sit down to read this letter, I'm reminded of the profound responsibility we hold as parents, grandparents, Australian citizens, and members of this blessed Ummah. We're the torchbearers of Islam in Australia, entrusted with the sacred duty of safeguarding our faith, not just for ourselves, but for our children, grandchildren, and for generations to come. This is a responsibility that we cannot take lightly, and today I want to speak to your hearts about why your vote in the upcoming 2025 election is not just a civic duty, it's an act of faith, and it changes and shapes a legacy that we will collectively leave behind. There's a danger of disengagement, and we can only look to France to learn lessons. Look at the situation in France, where Muslims make up to 20 to 25% of the population in some areas of Paris. Despite these numbers, 70% of the French Muslims do not vote. This disengagement has had devastating consequences. It has allowed politicians to rise up to power who openly attack Muslim communities, who pass laws that strip away religious freedoms, and who foster an environment of fear and discrimination. Just recently, we saw how a far right leader nearly won the presidency by campaigning on a platform of Islamophobia. She promised to strip Muslims of their citizenship, to shut down mosques, and to silence our voices. And why? Because she knew that the Muslim community in France was not politically engaged and she had no fear. This is a warning to us all, to you, me, and everyone in Australia. If we remain silent, if we choose not to vote, we are giving up our power. We are allowing others to decide our fate. We are not helpless. We have a choice. We can stand up, we can vote, and we can make sure that our voices are heard. There are many ways you can get involved. Voting is the most direct and powerful way to make your voice heard, but it doesn't stop there. Encourage your family, your friends, and your neighbors to register to vote. Attend community meetings. Stay informed about what's happening in your local areas. Get in touch with Muslim Votes Matters volunteers. In Canada, cities like Mississauga are 15% Muslim, and this community has become a powerful political force. They vote together, they support candidates who protect their rights, and they have shown that when Muslims stand united, they can shape the policies and direction of their country. We can achieve and do better here in Australia. Let's look at our Prophet's past, peace be upon him, and the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, showed us the importance of strategic thinking and long term plan. When he agreed to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, many of his companions were disheartened. They saw it as a compromise, as a setback. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, had the wisdom to see beyond the immediate, to understand that this treaty would lead to greater victories in the future, and he was right. Just a few years later, the Muslims returned to Mecca in triumph. And you and I today, from whichever part of the world that we come from, are Muslims. Today, we face our own challenges. We live in a world where Islamophobia is on the rise, where our faith is often misunderstood, and where our values are sometimes under attack. But just as the Prophet, peace be upon him, made strategic decisions for the benefit of the Ummah, we too must be strategic in how we engage with the society around us. Our vote is a tool that can be used to build a better future for our children, just as the treaty paved the way for the eventual conquest of Mecca. We have the power to change the course of history from today. Imagine Australia that your great great grandchildren will inherit. Will it be a country where they can practice their faith freely, where they are respected members of society, or will it be a place where they're scapegoated for everything wrong? The answer to that question lies in the choices we make today, in the votes we cast, and in the unity we display as a community. There are 151 seats in the House of Representatives. To form a government, a party needs a majority of 76 seats. In the last 25 years, no government has had a majority of more than 15 seats. This means that the margin of victory is often very narrow. Imagine this: if we, as Muslims, stand united and vote as a bloc, we have the power to influence over 20 seats. That's more than enough to tip the balance, to force a hung parliament where no single party has an outright majority. This is not just a dream, it's a reality that you and I can achieve if we come together. By voting as a united bloc, we can send a clear and undeniable message to every politician in this country. The Muslim community will not tolerate those who are complicit in genocide, those who spread Islamophobia, or those who seek to divide us and pit us against one another. We will stand against injustice, and we will use our votes to protect our values, our way of life, and our fellow citizens. We have a responsibility to the future generations. The values we instill in them, our children, the importance we place in their education, and our involvement in the community are all part of the legacy that we will leave behind. Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us to be proactive and to stand up for justice and to think about the long term welfare of our community. We honor his teaching by taking action today that will benefit our community for generations to come. Let's stand united. The challenges we face are significant, but they are not insurmountable. The key to overcoming them lies in our hand, in our ability to organize, to vote, and to ensure that our voices are heard. By being active, informed, and engaged, we are helping to secure a better future for our children and the generations to come. Let us work together, regardless of our differences, to build a stronger, more unified community. Remember, the actions we take today will echo through the generations. Let's make sure they echo with strength, unity, and the enduring presence of faith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects action from us, and the results are with Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our efforts, guide our actions, and protect our ummah. Ameen.